Have you ever felt that you're not important to your family or a close friend? Have you constantly done your best, yet it was never enough for them? If you're tired of feeling trapped, this video is for you. Sometimes, in order to grow, we need to cut ties with certain relationships, including those with family or friends. This isn't an invitation to loneliness, but rather a call to authenticity and inner peace. In this video, we'll reveal 11 signs that it may be time to break off communication. Please watch until the end, as this could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Let's begin. 1. When the abuse is constant. Abuse in any form is a wound to the soul. Whether the blows are to the body or the soul, they leave scars that hinder your ability to live fully and vibrantly. Stoicism teaches us the importance of guarding our mind's fortress, but this doesn't mean enduring the unbearable. If a relationship is consistently physically violent, or if you find yourself a victim of emotional manipulation and cruelty, your first duty is to yourself. Sometimes the bravest act isn't to endure, but to accept that true strength lies in protecting yourself. Your peace is sacred, and if you don't find happiness within, you won't find it anywhere. Tolerating persistent abuse is not a shield, but a burden, allowing another's darkness to consume your light. Stoics believed in living according to nature, and there's nothing natural about enduring mistreatment. It damages your soul and prevents you from realizing your true potential. Shutting the door on those who repeatedly harm you is not an act of cruelty. By doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also honor your inner strength and resilience, embodying the essence of Stoic power. 2. When respect is lacking. Imagine you've cultivated a beautiful garden. You carefully select the plants, tend to the soil, and patiently nurture each flower. True growth requires setting boundaries, allowing certain plants to thrive while preventing invasive species from consuming all resources. A healthy garden flourishes within clear limits. Similarly, your inner world deserves respect and well-defined boundaries. These are the lines you draw to communicate what you need and what behaviors you will tolerate. They protect your time, energy, and emotional space. When someone repeatedly disregards these boundaries, they choke the life you're trying to cultivate, like weeds overtaking flower beds. Stoicism teaches us to live consciously, which means carefully choosing where to spend your energy. Allowing others to constantly violate your boundaries depletes your strength and disrupts your balance. It's a subtle form of disrespect that suggests your needs aren't as important as theirs. Remember, a true friend, partner, or family member should want you to thrive, not wither. Setting and reinforcing healthy boundaries is an act of self-love. Ensuring your inner garden of potential and self-respect gets the light and water it needs to grow stronger every day. 3. When your energy is drained. Stoics considered inner peace to be our greatest treasure, understanding that to nourish a life filled with reason and virtue, we must protect our mental and emotional well-being from unnecessary disturbances. However, some relationships become relentless sources of depletion rather than light and strength. Think of your energy as a limited resource, much like a precious water reservoir. Genuine friendships and healthy connections are like wells. They replenish your reserves and revitalize you. But some relationships are more like leaks, slowly draining your enthusiasm, peace, and spark. The drain could be subtle, like a constant barrage of negativity, complaints, or a never-ending need for validation and attention. Every interaction wears you down, leaving you feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Over time, the cost of this energetic imbalance becomes steep. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of where we direct our focus. A life devoted to growth and personal development requires us to spend this valuable energy wisely. Devoting yourself to someone who constantly drains your reserves is like pouring water into a bottomless bucket. You tire yourself out and never reach a satisfying conclusion. True fulfillment comes from connections that nourish, support, and inspire you to be your best self. If someone consistently leaves you feeling empty, reevaluating the relationship isn't a sign of weakness but of wisdom. Stoics believed in the power of the inner fortress, and that fortress needs protection. Sometimes, this means stepping back from those who unintentionally weaken your defenses. Remember, real Stoic strength lies in having the courage to prioritize your well-being so that you can continue to offer your best self to the world and those who truly value the light you bring. 4. When reciprocity is absent. Stoics highly respected the virtue of reciprocity. understanding that a well-lived life involves giving to others and forming connections based on shared values and mutual support. But, as with everything, it's about finding balance. When the scales in a relationship tip too far in one direction, resentment and feelings of being unappreciated can take root. Imagine a magnificent tree, its branches stretching toward the sky, its leaves basking in the sunlight. Yet all this visible growth is anchored in a complex root system below, which both takes and gives, drawing nutrients from the soil while also anchoring the tree against storms. Healthy relationships mirror this natural system of reciprocity. We give support, encouragement, and love, and in return, we receive validation and a sense of being truly valued. This exchange strengthens the bond and allows both people to thrive. But if you find yourself constantly giving without receiving anything in return, you become like a depleted root system. While your efforts support the other person's growth, your own needs go unmet. This imbalance can be deeply damaging, leading to a slow erosion of self-worth. Over time, one might start to question their own value or feel invisible in the relationship. Stoicism advocates for virtuous action, but this doesn't mean enduring a perpetual state of self-sacrifice. True generosity flourishes when it is given freely, not when it is constantly demanded. A healthy relationship should feel like a collaborative dance where both people have space to lead and follow, where your efforts are recognized and appreciated, and where you are nourished in return. Stoics believed in surrounding ourselves with people who bring out the best in us. Remember, if a relationship lacks a fundamental element like reciprocity, the things you give are going unrecognized and unappreciated. 5. When they sabotage your growth. Stoics held personal development in the highest regard, believing that our true potential lies within us and that cultivating our virtues, seeking wisdom, and striving to live rationally are our duties. This journey of growth and development is a lifelong endeavor and can be incredibly fulfilling. However, sometimes we encounter people who, rather than being our companions on this journey, become obstacles in our path. Imagine setting out on a grand journey across vast and challenging terrain. You've carefully prepared your supplies, mentally braced yourself for the journey's challenging nature, and your heart beats with determination. But what if your chosen companion actively tries to sabotage your efforts? They hide your supplies, puncture your water bottle, and undermine your courage at every opportunity. This is akin to having someone in your life who actively undermines your growth. Instead of supporting your goals, they plant seeds of doubt and negativity. Instead of celebrating your efforts to improve yourself, they belittle your attempts or distract you from your chosen path. Such behavior reveals a fundamental incompatibility and a lack of belief in your abilities and potential. Remember, those who care for you will seek to uplift and inspire you. True friends and supportive partners are champions of your goals, not obstacles to them. Stoics understood that those we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our capabilities. When faced with constant sabotage, it becomes essential to preserve the drive within you to grow. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting ties, but rather setting firmer boundaries and becoming less susceptible to their discouraging influence. Remember, this is your journey, one lived according to the steps you take and the principles you embrace. Those who do not understand or respect this have no place as guides on your path. Let their sabotage fuel your resolve. Whether external or internal, overcoming challenges allows us to discover the true depths of our strength. 6. When they sabotage your growth. The Stoics showed the utmost respect for the relentless pursuit of personal development. They believe that our true potential lies within us and that it is our duty to cultivate our virtues, seek wisdom, and strive to live rationally. This journey of growth and development is a lifelong endeavor and can be incredibly fulfilling. However, sometimes, instead of being companions on our journey, we encounter people who stand as obstacles. Imagine setting out on a great journey across a vast and challenging landscape. You've carefully prepared your supplies, mentally braced yourself for the tough nature of the journey, and your heart beats with determination. But what if the companion you chose actively tries to sabotage your efforts, hiding your supplies, poking holes in your water canteen, and undermining your confidence at every opportunity? This is akin to having someone in your life who actively hinders your growth. Instead of supporting your goals, they sow seeds of doubt and negativity. Instead of celebrating your self-improvement efforts, they belittle your efforts or steer you away from your chosen path. Such behaviors reveal a fundamental misalignment, a lack of belief in your capabilities and potential. Remember, those who truly care about you will try to elevate and inspire you. True friends and supportive partners are advocates of your goals, not obstacles. The Stoics understood that the people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our abilities. When faced with constant sabotage, it becomes essential to protect the drive for growth within you. This doesn't necessarily mean severing ties, but setting firmer boundaries and becoming less susceptible to their discouraging effects. Remember, this is your journey. The steps you take and the life you choose to live in accordance with your values are yours alone. Those who cannot understand or respect this have no place as guides on your path. Let their sabotage fuel your determination. Whether external or internal, overcoming challenges helps us discover the true depths of our strength. 7. When they bring out the worst in you. Imagine your true self as a clear, calm pool that reflects the light of virtue and inner strength. The Stoics believed that this essence exists within each of us. It is the guiding force that allows us to live rational, compassionate, and self-controlled lives. However, this inner pool can sometimes become disturbed, its stillness shattered by waves of negativity. Some relationships have the power to bring out the worst in us, provoking anger, jealousy, or actions we later deeply regret. It's like stepping into a distorted mirror in a funhouse. These warped reflections don't show you as you truly are, but instead render your image unrecognizable. Similarly, a toxic dynamic can cause similar distortions within us, turning us into a version of ourselves that feels alien and out of sync with our values. The Stoics believed in developing self-awareness and taking ownership of our thoughts and actions. If a relationship consistently triggers the worst in you, it's like walking on a path covered in hot coals. At first, you may try to endure the pain, but with each step, the damage becomes more severe and the pain more intense. Choosing to walk away from unhealthy dynamics is not a defeat, but rather a powerful act of liberation. It's saying, I refuse to let this relationship define me. I acknowledge where I've stumbled and take responsibility for maintaining my inner peace. Remember, growth happens in environments that nurture the best within you. A toxic dynamic stifles your development and poisons your spirit. You deserve to be in peaceful surroundings that foster your positive qualities and ground you in the pursuit of virtue. Don't be afraid to seek connections that allow you to shine at your brightest. This is a testament to your stoic strength and an act of self-love. 8. When they betray you. Trust is like a delicate mosaic, built with patience and care, each piece contributing to a complex pattern. Trust acts as the mortar that holds healthy relationships together. But like any beautiful work of art, a mosaic can shatter in an instant. Whether it's through lies, infidelity, or the careless sharing of secrets, betrayal inflicts deep wounds on the foundation of a relationship. Imagine caring for a fragile sapling. You water it, protect it from harsh winds, and nurture it with the hope that it will grow into a strong, resilient tree. But if someone tramples its roots or snaps off its budding branches, the tree may never reach its full potential. Betrayal has a similar effect on relationships. It stunts growth, leaves scars, and makes you question the very foundation upon which the bond was built. Stoicism teaches us the importance of discernment. Not everyone and everything is worthy of our trust. Words are easy to give, but true change requires action and consistency over time. A promise made with sincerity is not just spoken, but enacted. When trust is repeatedly broken, trying to rebuild the mosaic with fractured and mismatched pieces can only result in a broken imitation of what could have been. So, don't just listen to what people say, observe what they do. Accepting that a relationship built on a shaky foundation may not be sustainable is painful but necessary. Healing from the pain of betrayal takes time. It doesn't mean you must completely abandon the connection, but rather shift your focus. True strength lies not in enduring repeated disappointments, but in having the courage to direct your love and trust towards those who have proven themselves worthy of it. The Stoics believed in building a life based on integrity. When someone's actions show a disregard for your feelings, restoring trust becomes nearly impossible. This is a call to honor your own worth. Remember, the mosaic of your life should be built with those who value every piece and handle your trust with the care it deserves. 9. When there are addiction issues. Addiction, although it may seem like an inescapable trap, sometimes the only way to save yourself from being burned is to step away. When someone struggles with severe addiction and refuses to seek help, the destructive force impacts not just themselves but everyone in their orbit. Imagine yourself as a brave warrior, equipped with the Stoic shield of resilience. Yet even the strongest shield provides limited protection when faced with a relentless rain of fiery arrows. Loving someone with an addiction can feel like this. You offer support, plead for reason, and try to extinguish the fire before it consumes you both. However, when all your efforts are met with denial, hostility, or false promises, exhaustion begins to set in. You fight for another, but in doing so, you lose the battle for yourself. The Stoics understood that, while virtue is essential, it cannot be imposed on others. One must be willing to undertake the arduous and challenging work of healing. When someone in the grip of addiction rejects this path, your priority should shift to self-preservation. This doesn't mean giving up entirely, but setting boundaries and stepping back. Remember, true compassion exists in balance with wisdom. To love someone deeply does not mean allowing them to continue causing harm. Just as a swimmer cannot save a drowning person who refuses assistance, you cannot force an addict to heal. Your well-being is sacred, and you deserve to protect it. Setting firm boundaries might be the catalyst that finally ignites the desire for change within the addict. But even if it doesn't, you are under no obligation to be consumed by a fire that another refuses to extinguish. Stoicism is not about needless suffering. It's about having the courage to direct your energy wisely. Your love, support, and energy are meant for those who fight alongside you on the path of growth and healing. Sometimes, the most compassionate and stoic path is the one that leads you out of the flames, allowing you to offer a guiding light from a safer distance. 10. When they reject responsibility. The Stoics held great respect for those who understood that true wisdom lies in recognizing one's own mistakes and taking responsibility for one's actions. When someone refuses to accept their faults or constantly shifts the blame onto others, they create a barrier to growth for themselves and for their relationships. Imagine trying to navigate a dangerous path with your eyes closed. You can't see where you've stumbled or adjust your course, and so you keep making the same mistakes. A person who lacks accountability behaves similarly. They refuse to examine their role in conflicts or hurt feelings. This blindness creates a frustrating dynamic where progress feels frustratingly out of reach. Refusing to apologize is not just stubbornness, it's a fundamental lack of respect. It sends the message that the other person's pain is less important than maintaining the illusion of one's own infallibility. Healthy relationships thrive on open communication, a willingness to listen, and a mutual effort towards resolution. When these elements are missing, resentment simmers and bonds weaken. The Stoics believed in surrounding ourselves with people who inspire us to be better. A true friend, partner, or family member strives to understand their impact on others and works to correct their mistakes. When faced with chronic defensiveness and a refusal to say "I was wrong," it raises questions about whether this relationship aligns with your values. Remember, admitting a mistake is not a sign of weakness. It is the cornerstone of growth. Forgiveness flourishes in environments where genuine remorse is expressed. Sometimes stepping away from someone mired in denial is about honoring your own worth. Stoicism is about striving for wisdom and self-mastery. By distancing yourself from relationships built on stubborn accusations, you free up energy for connections founded on honesty, respect, and a shared desire to be better every day. 11. When your instincts tell you something is wrong. The Stoics understood that wisdom is not always found solely in the realm of logic. Sometimes there's a deep, intuitive knowing. Before our conscious minds can piece together all the reasons, there's an inner voice that whispers warnings. When it comes to the health of our relationships, learning to trust this voice is essential. Think of your instincts as a skilled tracker in a dense forest. Even without clear sight of the path, this tracker senses where the dangers lie. It's an innate ability, honed through experience and observation, to detect when something is amiss. If you ever find yourself feeling uneasy, unsettled, or constantly questioning a relationship, this could be your inner wisdom urging you to pay closer attention. Perhaps there are subtle red flags, small lies, shifts in behavior, or a vague sense of unease that you can't quite pinpoint. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-awareness and vigilance. In relationships, this means being attuned to the signs that all is not well. When your instincts signal that something is wrong, don't ignore them. Trusting your gut is not a weakness but a strength. It's an acknowledgement that while reason guides much of our lives, there is also a place for the wisdom of our inner voice. Your instincts are your first line of defense, urging you to protect your well-being. Remember, it's better to address these concerns early on rather than waiting until they grow into something unmanageable. The Stoics believed in facing challenges head-on, with clarity and courage. If you sense something is off, don't be afraid to investigate, ask questions, and trust your own judgment. Your inner wisdom is an invaluable guide on your path to a life of virtue and harmony. Heed its warnings and use them to steer your relationships towards those that uplift and support your journey.